Beginning, the promise among the stars. When I was 10 years old, Earth was still recovering from the last contact war. The skies had cleared of the black ships, and humanity had begun its uneasy peace with the alien species from the Varine system. I remember hiding behind the oxygen tanks near the refugee camp perimeter, carving little shapes into the dust with a stick, when I met her. She looked almost human, slender, pale blue skin, her silver hair tied into a braid that shimmered in the sunlight. Her name was Sarai, and she was only a few years older than me. She had come to the Earth settlement as part of a cultural exchange program, though even as a kid, I knew it was more like political supervision. We met every few days, trading silly Earth candies for her alien fruit capsules. She laughed at my accent when I tried to pronounce her name the right way. Sarai, not Sari. One day, while sitting on a broken cargo container watching the sunset, I joked, "Maybe when we grow up, we'll get married, and there won't be any wars between our people anymore." Sarai's head tilted, her violet eyes studying me with that strange, serious look aliens always had. "You mean a binding vow?" she asked. I laughed. "It's just a joke, Sarai." But she didn't laugh. She pressed her small hand against mine. Her skin was cool and smooth like metal warmed by light. "A vow spoken beneath two suns is sacred on Varine," she whispered. "When the moons align, it will be remembered." I just nodded, smiling awkwardly. I didn't know what she meant. I was just a kid. But that night when I told my mom about it, she only smiled and said, "Some promises are funny things, Alex. Even the ones we don't mean." A few weeks later, Sarai and her delegation left Earth. I never saw her again. Until 20 years later. The return of the Varine emissary. The year was 2159. Humanity had established colonies across the inner rim of the galaxy, working under trade pacts with dozens of species. I was stationed on Varine Prime, a lush oceanic planet where blue bioluminescent waves crashed against black crystal cliffs. My work was simple, logistics and diplomacy for human trade routes. But the day she returned, everything changed. I was on my way to a briefing when the chamber doors opened, and I froze mid-step. She stood at the center of the hall, taller now, her posture regal, her uniform lined with silver armor plates. The moment her gaze met mine, I felt something in my chest tighten. Her eyes, violet, glowing faintly, just like before. "Commander Sarai of House Varine," the head diplomat introduced. "Envoy of the sovereign matriarchs." I swallowed hard, trying to keep my expression neutral, but her gaze didn't waver. When the meeting ended and the others filed out, I turned to leave, only for her to step directly in my path. "Human Alex," she said softly. "You remember me." My voice caught. "Sarai. You made a vow beneath two suns," she said, her tone even. "And now that the moons of Varine are aligned again, I have come to claim it." My heart dropped. "Claim it?" "Sarai, we were kids. It was a joke." Her silver hair shimmered as she tilted her head. "On your world, perhaps. On mine, vows made in sincerity are eternal." Before I could respond, she turned and walked away, leaving me standing in the quiet hall, pulse racing and mind reeling. Over the next few days, I tried to avoid her, burying myself in work. But Varine Prime was small, and she appeared everywhere, in meetings, in the colony hangars, even at the ocean docks. Always composed, always calm. Finally, after a week of silence, she appeared at my quarters. "Alex," she said simply. "We must talk." I sighed, stepping aside. "Fine. Talk." She entered, her presence somehow filling the room. "You misunderstand my intent. The vow you made bound not only our names but our fates. You may refuse, but the bond will remain." My people already consider us united. Blink. Wait. Your entire civilization thinks I'm your husband? Her expression didn't change. Not yet. But the announcement is scheduled for tomorrow's council convergence. I ran a hand down my face. Sarai, this is insane. I was 10 years old. Her gaze softened slightly. Age does not matter to vows sealed under twin suns. The words you spoke had intent, heart, and innocence, the purest truth of all. I laughed nervously. I was trying to end a war, not start a marriage. Sarai stepped closer, her voice quiet. And yet, perhaps that was the same thing. Something in her tone, something ancient, wistful, made me stop talking. The unraveling, between duty and emotion. That night I couldn't sleep. The sky of Vereen shimmered with 2 moons rising over the sea. My communicator buzzed with official summons, but I ignored them, staring out into the alien stars. What haunted me wasn't fear. It was memory. The laughter of a girl who once traded fruit capsules for candy. The way she said my name like it mattered. When dawn came, I went to the Grand Assembly anyway. The hall was filled with alien dignitaries, their skin reflecting light like shifting marble. At the center stood Sarai, now dressed in the ceremonial robe of the matriarchal house. As the High Speaker began the declaration of alliance, I stepped forward. Wait! The chamber fell silent. Sarai, I said, voice echoing. I can't let this proceed. I'm just a human officer. Not a diplomat, not royalty. What you're asking, her voice cut through the stillness, calm but firm, is not for politics. It is for truth. You once spoke of peace between our peoples. I believed in that. I still do. I took a slow breath. And you think, this vow, this marriage will bring that peace? Her eyes softened. No. I think you will. The High Speaker raised his staff. Then the vow shall be honored before the twin moons. I shook my head, stepping back. No. This isn't. But before I could finish, a tremor shook the hall. The lights flickered. A warning siren blared through the chamber. A fleet breach. From the outer windows we saw them. Dark ships descending through the clouds. Rebel Vereen warbands, opposed to any human alliance. Sarai's soldiers drew weapons, forming defensive lines. She turned to me, her tone sharp now. Alex, go to the lower bay. You'll be safe there. But something in me, maybe the same reckless instinct that got me into this mess, refused. I'm not leaving you. Her gaze flickered, surprise breaking through her composure. You would fight for me. Wouldn't be the first time, I said, grabbing one of the plasma rifles from the guard rack. She hesitated, then nodded once. Then stay close. The next few hours blurred into chaos. Fire, smoke, the piercing shriek of alien weaponry. We fought side by side through the glass corridors, defending the council chamber. Despite the madness, we moved in rhythm. Her movements sharp, fluid, mine grounded and precise. When a blast tore through the upper levels, she shielded me with her own body, the energy rippling across her armor. Sarai! I shouted, pulling her behind cover. Her armor was cracked, glowing faintly with heat. I'm fine, she said through gritted teeth. Focus. But she wasn't fine. I dragged her to a console, overriding the chamber lockdown. The invading ships began retreating once reinforcements arrived, but Sarai was pale, her pulse flickering faintly beneath her skin. You can't die, I whispered.